Hey, hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the OMI Q&A.
Welcome. Hey, if you are one of our OMI grads, okay, please type OMI, okay, in the comments so that we know how many OMI grads we have here.
Yeah, type OMI in the comments. Let us know who you are, okay?
Yeah. Hey, Pete, do you actually recall when was the earliest OMI grad?
I think, okay, if I recall correctly, right, the first batch of OMI we had was around last year, October, if I'm not wrong.
Last year, October. Hey, to make things fun, right? Hey, can you all let us know which batch you were from?
Yeah. Type in the month and the year, maybe. The month and year.
It's like a reunion, right, of all the OMI graduates.
Reunion.
Yeah, okay. Wow, so exciting. Okay, we have so many OMI grads here. Okay, and we already have someone already, okay, asking questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay, hey, we have people from, okay, the most recent batch, August.
Yeah, August. Then we have February. Yeah, Kelly's from February, I remember as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wendy is from May, and then Janice from June. Wow.
Yeah.
Casey, we have Casey from
April.
Yes.
Any October last year, no? One of my first few batches or anybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, so them are actually okay. So the oldest bird lah. Okay, that we have here, Kelly.
Yes, Kelly is the veteran.
Veteran. Yes. Okay, February 2020. Okay, she's like the senior of everyone.
Yeah, she's senior.
Yeah. Okay, hey Justin, this is actually okay, so all the live videos will actually be stored in this endless Facebook group, so you can always watch for that, okay?
Yeah, so guys, just let you guys know, right? We are streaming this to two different places. One is the OMI Options Millionaire Intensive official Facebook group. All right, you can also go there to follow us as well if you're not following us already. And we are also streaming this into our community outreach group, which is called the Endless. Endless stands for Next Level. Next Level what? All Star. I suddenly forgot. Suddenly brain jam. Next Level All Star. Where actually it's not just about investing, but also there's a lot of business content. There's a lot of marketing content as well, right? So you're an entrepreneur, investor, business person, or even you are working, right? Go over there to get a lot of very, very valuable content, okay?
Yeah.
All right, advertisement done.
Okay, anyway, I think we need to introduce ourselves because we have only started training the July batch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who don't know us, okay, I'm Joe.
And I'm Sarah.
Okay. Yeah, we are if you see a Facebook page or you see Joe Sarah, actually it's the two of us.
Okay. But you see us as cartoons lah. So we are the real life people.
Yeah.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Pete. I'm also one of the speaker at the OMI program, all right? The 3-day program that many of you have attended as well, okay? All right.
Yeah. Okay, hey, and we are so happy to have all of you. Okay, so just to let you know how this entire session will flow. Okay, so ever since we put up the Google form, we received 80 questions. Well done, everybody. We are so glad to know that you are so hungry to learn. Okay, so because of the limited time that we have, okay, we have actually grouped all these questions into 3 top questions, okay? So stay with us until the end, okay? So the 3 questions that will be answered will be, number 1, should I still invest even with US dollar devaluation? That will be done by P.
Yay.
Okay, next, Joe, okay? As you can see, he's wearing a hysterical shirt because some of you are hysterical about your losing trade.
Yeah. So, okay, if you're asking about Suncor, all these things, I will be touching on that.
Yes, okay. And finally, I'm wearing green because it stands for portfolio growth. I don't know whether you can see it's green. Okay, so how to grow portfolio exponentially from 4 to 6 to 7 figures? Okay, I'll be answering that last question. So do stay with us until the very end, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, and kickstarting the entire Q&A would be Pete.
All right, guys. So let me get started. So before I start, right, guys, how many of you are actually invested in the US stock market? Can you type in the word US? Okay, if you're in the US stock market, type in the word US. Now, I just want to answer one of your questions, which is, right now, right, we have this very nice gentleman called Jerome Powell. Okay? He's the guy in the picture. If you don't know who he is the chairman of the US Federal Reserve. And his main job right now is to print money. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, but his main job is to stabilize the economy. And one of the things that the Federal Reserve does quite a fair bit recently is that they created a lot more cash, a lot more liquidity, and a lot of people call it, the unlimited quantitative easing, QE unlimited. Okay, and the question people suddenly ask me is that, hey, is US dollar a risk? Because we all know that when you print too much money, right, guys, what happened? What happened when you print too much money into the system? Can you type in the comments? What happened to your money, right, when you print too much of it? Okay, and so actually, this is the question. This is actually from one of our OMI graduates from Malaysia, and she talks about the strategy she's employing, but she feels that she's very exposed to the US currency, which might depreciate. And while she understands that the US stock prices can adjust accordingly, but she's asking, is there any way I can hedge my investments from currency risk, given the massive QE which I'm talking about, right? Printing a lot of money and zero interest rate. Wow, this person really understands her stuff, right? Or his stuff, okay? Right, he's afraid that US dollar may depreciate massively, all right, like it did back in 2009 and 2013. Okay, so very, very valid question. Let me go into this. Now, the key thing is this: when you print too much money, right, in the broader sense of the economy, is that your dollar will depreciate. Okay, your dollar will depreciate. So, for example, if today you buy your iPhone, right, if it's worth $1,000, and if US dollar depreciate 50% overnight, what's going to happen is that now suddenly your $1,000 is not going to worth as much, and probably your $1,000 can't buy you an iPhone in this case. Okay, so I just want you to go. Tell you guys how this works through a story, and this is a real life story, right? And it's the story of this very nice Latin American country called Venezuela. Okay, how many of you have been to Venezuela? Can you type in V? Okay, if you've been to Venezuela, type in V. I personally have not been there, but I've seen very, very beautiful pictures. Okay, so this is a story of Venezuela, but actually it's a sad story. Why? Because due to the government policies there, right, the Venezuelan currency, which is known as the bolivars, okay, the bolivars depreciated a lot. Okay, so what does this chart show you? This chart show you, right, initially back in 2013, every US dollar brings you about this level of bolivars. Okay, by 2019, it went up to this. Okay, and I want to let you know each bar that jump, okay, is 1,000%. Okay, I didn't even show you the y-axis because just by seeing how much it run, right, it gives you a context, it gives you a sense of how big it is. That's how much money they printed, causing the Venezuela bolivars to depreciate in value. And how much depreciation happened? Just let you know, right? In July that year, when it happened, the inflation rate hit 82,700%. Okay, guys, I want you to take it in. 82,700%. Your money depreciated by 827 times, That's crazy. So much so that the authorities, the next month, right, they had to reduce 50 from their prices just so the numbers don't look ridiculous, because it was getting a bit stupid. It was looking like a few $1 million to buy something. So one thing that I really love is that people were saying over there, right, to buy some chicken, which is like 2.4 kilograms, you need about 14 million in bolivars. 14 million bolivars, okay? So the funny thing is that your picture will look like this. You will end up bringing more cash in weight than the chicken itself, okay? So the key question is, a lot of people ask, how do you survive this? How do you survive this, okay? And the simplest answer is this chart. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is actually the Caracas, which is the stock exchange of the Venezuela stocks. Okay, and during the whole crisis period where the bolivars was depreciating, right, the market actually went up from 10,000 points over to more than 100,000 points in a matter of 2 years. Okay, so it pretty much 10x plus. All right, your money if you just invest in the Caracas Stock Exchange. Now, the thing is this, of course, people say, hey, Pete, this is not realistic because there's inflation. That's why the thing went up. Okay, so I went to dug out another information, and it's this. This is the same stock market. However, this time is adjusted for the flow of money. Right? That means we adjusted it for inflation already. M2 adjusted. Okay? And you can see that even with that, the stock market overall outperformed the inflow of money into the system by 7 times. That means however much your money depreciated, okay, the stock market actually overcame that. How many times? 7 times over the whole period. All right, 2010 all the way to 2017. 7 times. Okay? So this is really a story of a very sad situation, but if you know where to put your money, which is the stock market, it actually helps. Now, the thing is this, why is this the case? How does this even make sense? How did it happen? How can a 82,000% depreciation be avoided just by investing in the stock market? Okay? Now, in order not to go into too much details, because I think we don't have that much time over here, I want to go into the basics for you, okay? And I mentioned this just now, right? iPhone, right? So the thing is this, the stock market is made out of businesses, and businesses make profit. Okay, they make money, and the profit will help you to value the company, and then the stock prices will go on accordingly, right? So the issue is, not the issue, the good thing is that the profits are all made in local dollars, generally, okay? So the thing is, while your money will depreciate like crazy, the goods that is sold, for example, the iPhone over here, has a consistent value. What do I mean? Once again, for example, if today your iPhone is worth $1,000 and the US dollars depreciate by 50% tomorrow, how much is the same iPhone going to cost tomorrow? When you go to the floating Apple store in Singapore, right? We have this new Apple store in Singapore that is floating in the water, okay? How much is it going to cost you? 50% depreciation, that means your money is worth less, is worth by half. Therefore, your iPhone is going to be costing you $2,000. So to the business, it doesn't change because the depreciation just means that they can charge more. Okay, they can charge more for the same item. So generally, for normal depreciation, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Okay, it's not going to make too much of a difference. And we also saw it in other extreme cases, for example, in Argentina, all right, where their pesos also heavily devalued. But if you invest in a stock market, which is the Merval market, okay, you will have overcome that depreciation as well because businesses just adjust their prices accordingly as the pesos depreciate. Okay, so I just want to come to the main point, right, is that I think your question about hedging your risk, your currency risk is a valid risk. But the most important thing is this, ask yourself, is the currency risk more crucial, more dangerous, or is the investment risk more important? Okay? All right? There's no point worrying about your currency depreciating by 10% or appreciating by 10%, but when your investment itself, all right, if it's a good investment, it's going to overcome that. But if it's a bad investment, even if you invest in the strongest currency, but if it's a bad company, it's not going to save your investment. Okay, so the key thing is this, guys. Please focus on the correct risk over here. Focus on the investment risk, not the currency risk. Okay, so I hope you guys learned a lot. For those of you who are still worried about US dollar depreciating, once again, the key question is how do you select the strong companies to help you overcome that? Okay, and I'm going to pass this on to Joe because Joe is going to talk about businesses as well. All right, and how to look at the business and understand what is the risk over here. Okay, all right, so over to you, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Pete. Okay, so thank you, Pete. Thank you so much for bringing us through a macro view of how the stock market works. So this is what I'm going to share. Hold on a moment. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to share for today. How do you handle losing trades? So remember what Pete said, okay? Currency risk is not such of a big factor compared to investment risk. And how do you determine whether the investment is risky or not? Okay, let me just bring you through this, okay? Okay, so a lot of you have asked, oh, your Suncor sell put, okay, it's going to expire this Friday, and what is going to happen? the share price is actually below your strike price, and this means that you are in danger of getting 100 shares. Okay, I know there are other strategies, other questions over here. Let me just use Suncor as an example, all right, to talk about what should you do when your trade is actually losing. Okay, so this is Suncor. The context here is Suncor again. Okay, so what does Suncor do? Okay, how does this company actually make money? Okay, the main mode of revenue is actually from bitumen, other petrochemical products, bitumen and oil. What is bitumen? Actually, bitumen is what you put on your roads, the black stuff. Some people call it tar, some people call it, I don't know whether I pronounce it wrong correctly or not, asphalt, all right? So they also help in the refining and marketing of oil products, offshore mining and exploration, they also invest in wind energy. And what is bitumen or the asphalt being used for? The number one use is for paving the roads. The other one is actually for roofing, and then there's also for strengthening your walls, strengthening your roofs. All right, these are all the secondary users. The main use is actually paving your roads. So what is Suncor? It is actually the world's largest producer of bitumen. So I can determine that for Suncor, it is really the champion in its industry. All right, some companies produce a lot of oil, some companies refine a lot of oil. Suncor chooses to specialize in the producing of bitumen, and they are the king in their industry. And for those who are a bit worried, it's in the energy sector, is energy going to be replaced by the renewables? Let's take a look. All right, we know that as of now, buildings still use the most, buildings and industry use the most energy. All right, the region is OECD, they are using the most, followed by China and then the other countries. And just take a very quick look at what's the where is the main energy being produced? It is still oil, oil, gas, coal, then followed by your nuclear, your hydroelectricity, and then your renewables. So fossil fuels is still the main mode of electricity production. And if you look at the demand breakdown, it is actually quite consistent. Even in 2019, natural gas is 29%, petroleum followed by coal. These few already account for more than half of the world's electricity production. And if we look at why are we looking at Alberta gas? Because actually Suncor owns this Alberta gas production site. As you can see, they are projecting that the consumption and the demand is going to keep increasing even after this COVID period. And same for bitumen. Remember, their main product, bitumen, for the US market, they are still going to increase the demand for bitumen. So I can ascertain that actually there is still a rising demand, there is still an increasing demand for the products of Suncor. Just that maybe the increase is not so fast, but slowly but surely, the demand is still going up. And this is what the impact of oil and gas prices has on Suncor. If crude oil actually increases by $1 US dollar per barrel, we can expect the net earnings or the funds from operations for Suncor to have another $238 million. All right, so I don't want to sit here and just just because Suncor is an energy company, I'm going to guess what happens if the price of oil and gas goes up. So this is from the financial report, and you can see if natural gas goes up, the price of natural gas goes up. Actually, it has a negative effect on Suncor's earnings. Why? Because Suncor actually employs a lot of natural gas to do the refining of their oil products. Remember that. Not every energy company, when the price of oil and gas goes up, they stand to gain. We must make this very, very clear. Looking at the operational outlook of Suncor, we can see that from their financial report, they are intending to increase their production. And therefore, I would say, because of this, they should have a positive outlook on the earnings in the years to come. So then, why is Suncor's price dropping? There are actually a few reasons. The first reason is, of course, because of COVID-19. Remember, COVID-19 actually halted many industries, and when the industries are halted, the use of electricity and fuel actually slows down. Second reason is because Russia and Saudi actually had the oil and gas price war, and in March this year, the oil prices really tanked, and oil became dirt cheap. I think you can remember there was a time when, you know, the articles on the internet were saying oil prices is actually negative. It means people pay you to get oil. Is it happening to us for petrol, for car petrol? Sadly, no. The third reason, okay, for the price of Suncor dropping, especially in the recent weeks, is because of the overall market retracement in September. So then the next question is this. My question is, because of this, will Suncor go bust? Let's take a very quick look. Based on the current assets means the assets that can be turned into cash or cash equivalents in 1 year. All right, same for current liabilities. That means the debt or the liabilities that has to be paid up in the next year. Okay. Coincidentally, I don't know whether this is too much of a coincidence, but the current assets and the current liabilities are exactly the same. So it means that all they have to do is they have enough cash reserves to pay up the current liabilities. So therefore, my conclusion is that Suncor will not go bust in the short term. Okay, this is assuming that Suncor does not earn a single cent from from selling its products in the next year. All right, even if they do not earn a single cent, they still can pay off their debt. All right, so what do you do with all these losing trades? The first question is, what is the conviction you have about this company? After you hear me present on Suncor, do you think that Suncor is a good company? Or do you think that Suncor, oh no, I don't want to own Suncor? All right, if I have Suncor, I think it's not the best thing in my portfolio, and I'm even very afraid that it will go bust. Okay, if that's the case, just close the position. All right, because with every position you take, there is no way you can get 100% correct. There will always be some time where you invest in something and the price goes down. It is very normal. In fact, it is part and parcel of investment. Okay, so then it comes to the question: should you hold on to Suncor if you are in danger of being exercised? The answer is yes, if you believe that the earnings of Suncor will go up as the global oil and demand price picks up. All right. And even what's more, right now, the current quarterly dividend payout is 64 cents per share. Okay, this will give you a dividend yield of 4% annually. If you are okay with this 4% annually, no harm holding. Okay, they just reduced their dividend payout. So this is hoping that the dividend payout does not reduce further. Even after withholding tax, okay, your dividend yield is around 2.8%. If you think this is not too bad, go ahead. You can hold on to Suncor. Okay. The other thing is you have a diversified portfolio and you don't mind holding on. Okay. The key word here is diversification. Okay. Just bear in mind that even though Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway holds Suncor, Suncor actually only occupies 0.16% of the entire portfolio. So on the flip side, you can close your sell put position on Suncor if you think that you do not want to own the 100 Suncor shares. All right. If you think you have other opportunities, you may choose to close, suffer a little bit of loss, but the opportunities after that is a lot better. Or if you do not want to wait for Suncor to recover, why? Because actually no one will know how long the depression of the oil and gas prices will take and how long it will take to recover. Nobody has an idea. Nobody will know. Or the other thing is, if you have absolutely no idea on what Suncor is doing, okay, you have no conviction or no reason to believe that it will recover, then you may want to choose to close your sell put. Okay, if you cannot afford to own 100 Suncor shares, all right, please, okay, do close. You must make sure you have enough funds in your portfolio to buy these 100 shares. Okay, so I have talked a lot about Suncor. I know there are many other questions. Okay, for example, this one, we bought an Intel Core at strike 57. Okay, Intel price has now dropped to $50. What should I do? The question is this: Is your call a long-term call? Do you have time to wait? Can you hold on to it? If you can't, please close. All right. The next question to ask yourself is, do you still believe in the business of Intel? If yes, you can hold on to it. If you do not know what Intel is doing, and if you don't believe that Intel will continue to grow or recover, then please close. So the reason why I took so much time to share about a Suncor alone is how convicted are you about that business? Think of the positions as businesses, okay, instead of numbers on the stock exchange. Because if you see it as numbers, it is very, very difficult to make a very good decision. But if you think of it as a business, okay, you recognize that this is a good business, you recognize that you want to partner this business, then I believe that your choice whether to cut loss or to hold will be a lot easier. Okay, so this is for those who have problems with when your trades are not going on the correct side for you. Okay, so how about those who are doing sell calls and you got 100 stocks, minus 100 stocks in your brokerage account already? Okay, number one, please follow the rules. Please try not to let the sell call position get exercised. Even if it's not in favor of you, do close it 1 or 2 days before. But in the event that you forget, please go and right click on your minus 100 shares, click close. Okay, this means that you will buy it at the market price to fulfill the minus 100 stocks in your account. Why is this very, very important? Because as long as you have minus 100 stocks, the brokerage will actually charge you interest. Why? Because you owe them 100 stocks. I am not too sure how much is the interest rate, but whatever the interest rate is, I want to avoid paying interest. All right, let me repeat. If you have minus 100 stocks in your brokerage, please do a right click on your minus 100 stocks. Okay, click close. If not, you are just paying interest as you drag on. All right. So what other question is there? Let me see. Okay. Okay. If it hits minus, it depends. Okay, whether it's minus 50% or not. Do you believe in the company or not? All right. If you don't believe in the company, close now. Don't wait until minus 50%. Okay. If you believe in the company, just hold on. All right. So it is actually not too difficult. Okay. It's whether you believe in that company or not. All right. So that's all for my session. All right. For my part, I have talked for quite some time about how a business works and how to build conviction in a business. You really need to do more research in it. All right. And you need to know more about company. Okay. I'll pass it to Sarah, who will be talking about investment at the portfolio level.
All right, hi guys. If you have received a lot of value, okay, from Joe and Pete so far, can you type value? Type value. Okay, so right, I think what is important is that you don't just listen, right? But I think at the end of this entire session, okay, we really do want you, okay, to take action, okay, and not just listen. So just now, I just want to reiterate, okay, Pete's point about, when you actually do investments, okay, focus on the correct risk. Okay, so for example, regardless of whatever options you do, okay, whatever position you take, okay, do make sure you do your risk assessment first before you enter into a business. Okay, so for example, right, how many of you actually understood Suncor's business? I can tell you, okay, I was sitting right there beside my husband Joe, and I didn't understand anything at all about Suncor. Okay, hey, am I alone? If you don't understand anything about Suncor, can you also type me too? Okay, so that I feel better. Okay, so the thing is this: if I don't even understand Suncor as a business, how am I supposed to analyze the risk? Then in that case, should I even invest in Suncor? Okay, so the answer definitely is no. Okay, hey, thanks, Ethan, for echoing me. Okay, so I also want to talk about this part here about Warren Buffett. Okay, so some of you, okay, you actually entered Suncor because Warren Buffett bought it. Okay, so in that case, right, your confidence in the business comes from Warren Buffett. Okay, so in this case, I do want you to think about this, right? For Warren Buffett, when he bought Suncor, how much of the portfolio is it occupying? Do you know that he only occupies 0.16% of his portfolio? Okay. And then for you, right, when you sell a put, right, that is 100 times 16, you know, how much of the portfolio is that for you? Okay, so this actually brings me, right, to the overall portfolio. To be a successful investor, you need to be able to learn to build a portfolio. It's not just thinking at the stock level, but you need to be able to think at the portfolio level. And your mindset, okay, needs to be very disciplined and very strong. Okay, so right now I'm going to be talking about this burning topic, okay? How to grow your portfolio exponentially from 4 to 6 to 7 figures. Okay, so if you are starting off with a 4-figure portfolio, okay, can you type exponential? Exponential, okay? So that is actually the target that we want here. We want to actually be able to grow our portfolio exponentially. Okay, so let me just get to it, right? Okay, so the burning question, how to grow my portfolio exponentially. Okay, and the journey from 4 figures to 6 and then to 7 figures. Okay, so to be very honest, okay, standing before you is a live testimony lah. Okay, so Joe and myself, we did start off with 4 figures, and today, okay, we are managing an account of 6 figures. Okay, and that was within the span of 1.5 years. Okay, so over here, I just want to answer. Okay, I want to acknowledge and answer these questions. Okay, so there was someone, okay, who asked, okay, who was like us, okay, started off with a 4-figure portfolio, and the target is actually to hit 6 figures or even millions. So that's a 7-figure, okay. And someone else also asked about what are some what are the different strategies for different portfolio sizes, okay. So how do you manage different portfolio sizes? Okay, so one key point that I want to actually bring across, right, today, right, is to actually learn from people who are proven to be successful. Okay, so for example, if you want to learn how to grow a portfolio from 4 to 6 to 7 figures, then of course you need to learn from somebody who has actually done so, right? Okay, and okay, we all know, okay, that Warren Buffett is someone who has done so. You can see that, okay, at the age of 14, okay, if this is encouraging to you, right? I hope it's encouraging to you. He also started off with 4 figures. He started off with $5,000, okay? And then he hit his first million when he was 30 years old. Okay, so in 16 years, right? Okay, he actually hit his first million pot of gold. Okay, so if I actually put it in the this calculator, okay, so he started off with 55,000, and then he ended off with 1 million. He took 16 years. What was his annual growth rate? He was able, okay, to grow his investments at a rate of 39% per year. Okay, if you think that this is really fantastic, can you type wow in the comments? Wow. Okay, so right, knowing that there was somebody who has gone before us, okay, who has actually achieved, okay, from 4 figures to 7 figures, okay, in 16 years, okay, I think of course there is something valuable to be learned from this figure. Okay, so what is Warren Buffett's magic formula? Okay, so this is really exciting. Okay, so Warren Buffett's magic formula, okay, is actually very simple. Okay, instead of, okay, getting distracted by all the information and all the money-making strategies out there, focus on making $1 first. Okay, so can you type $1? Hey, don't look down on $1, because if you can learn how to make $1, then you will learn how to make $10, right? Then you will learn how to make $100, $1,000 and $10,000. And the fact of it is that, okay, the principles of portfolio management is the same, regardless of whether you're 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures. If you can be faithful with 4 figures, then it will grow to 5 figures. And if you can be faithful with 5 figures, then it will grow to 6 figures, right? So the key principle is on building yourself, right? Building yourself to be an investor who is able, okay, to make consistent $1. So it all starts off with $1. Okay, and what he says here is extremely important. Don't get caught up with the long term, okay, when the short term needs focus first. Okay, so I think it's very good, okay, that you actually have financial goals, like for example, you want to reach 6 or 7 figures. Okay, but is this long term goal, right? Okay, is it actually helping you, or is it actually crippling you? Okay, think about it. Think about it, okay? And okay, so while having long-term goals are very important, what are you doing in the short term to build up to that, right? Okay, so I also want you all to take some time to actually reflect, right? Okay, because every action that you do, right, builds you up, determines your identity as an investor. Okay, so if like for example, okay, for Warren Buffett, what was the one thing he focused on, right? Okay, I think this is no secret. the one thing he focused on was to read 500 pages every day, 500 pages of financial reports. And that's how he did it, okay? Regardless of whether he was regardless of 4-figure portfolio, he was reading 500 pages, right? Okay, when he grew to 5 figures, he was reading 500 pages, okay? So 6 figures, he's still reading 500 pages. And even today, okay, I don't even know how many figures, is it 9 figures already? He is still reading 500 pages every day. Okay, so while I acknowledge, okay, that many of us have long-term goals, but I also want us to take practical steps towards that, right? So what is your short-term focus? Can you all type in the comments, short-term focus? Okay, because eventually it is the short-term focus, right? Okay, that is going to consistently bring you the $1, and subsequently the $10, the $100. And what's important is that you need to focus. There are many strategies out there. There are many money-making schemes out there. But my question is, what is your focus? Okay, so like what Warren Buffett says, right? Okay, he can guarantee, okay, that all of you can read 500 pages a day. Can you do that? I'm sure you can. But the thing is that I guarantee not many of you will do it. Okay, so I think my key point to you today, right, is to actually set aside, right, what is going to be your short-term focus. And like how we ended off the recent August OMI session, right? I think we ended off with getting you to think about what is the identity that you want to be, okay, as an investor. Okay, so for example, okay, if let's say, okay, your focus is to be a value investor, okay, then you should be focusing, okay, on actually understanding good companies, and also understanding different valuation methods, right? Okay, if let's say your identity that you want to build towards is a technical trader, and I do have a technical trader friend, right? Okay, he's actually a forex trader. Every month, he's actually bringing in 20-30% per month, okay? But what is the homework that goes into it, right? He actually read up a lot of books on technical analysis. And right now, okay, in his current system of technical trading, okay, he actually only uses 2 things, you know. He only uses support resistance lines, okay? And he only uses moving averages, that's it. Okay, so there are many things out there, okay, but it's really important for you to actually focus, okay, on building your identity and really focus on investing in yourself, okay. And then for Pete, Joe, and myself, okay, we are more of the systems investor, where we actually look at fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and then we execute stock and option strategies. And for Joe and myself, really, our journey really started off one step at a time, right? Do you remember, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really started
one report at a time.
It's really started off with one step at a time. And not kidding you, okay, our growth really, I think we started experiencing exponential growth in ourselves and our portfolio when we started reading 10K reports. I'm not joking, okay? Because it is only through that, right, that we really understand the business. We really understand, okay, what is a good valuation. Okay, with that, then we also understand, okay, how to analyze whether the business has gone bad and it's time to exit, or how to analyze whether the business has become overvalued and it's time to exit. Okay, so right, I think I mean, to end off this entire session, because I really do want you to take something tangible away, I do want you to reflect on this question. You know, that, you know, after hearing all of these, right, okay, what will be your short-term focus? Right? Yeah, so I mean, it could be as simple as, you know, maybe I will aim, okay, for example, if let's say your goal is to be a value investor, maybe your goal can be, okay, I will aim, okay, to read maybe 10K report, for example, okay, for this month, for example, okay. Or if let's say you're aspiring to be a technical trader, okay, then maybe your short-term focus can be, okay, I will focus and I will train myself to draw support and resistance lines very accurately, for example, okay. Or let's say you want to actually really do very well with options, okay, then you need to start on one first, okay. So don't try to focus on so many at one shot, because you will get very confused. Focus on one. So for example, let's say you really just want to focus on strategy X, okay, then you focus on mastering strategy X. And okay, and before you know it, if you are able to make the first $1 with strategy X, for example, then you can make your next $10, $100, so on and so forth. So I really do hope, okay, that you will take away this and you really will do this reflection very seriously and ask yourself, okay, what is your short-term focus, and stick to it. And I really hope that, you know, one day from this community, okay, there will be success stories coming up, okay, sharing that, you know, you've actually grown your 4 figures to 6 and 7 figures because you had done the one thing that is important. Right? Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So Victor Ong. Okay, I assume that you're going to read the 10K report. Okay, so actually that is the end of my presentation. Okay. Hey, Joe, come back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Hey,
Pete,
Pete,
you're
you're
muted.
muted.
Oh.
Pete.
Okay, guys, I hope you guys learned a lot from this session from myself, Joe, and Sarah. And really, we will take the future sessions, right, to go through the questions that you guys have sent us. But really, the most important thing right now is understand what you are investing in, right? And also understand what your focus is. Especially for those of you who have been to OMI, you know that throughout the 3 days, we have been going through, hammering all the rules into you, all right? So please, if you cannot remember, please watch those videos again, read those notes again, to make sure that you don't forget about the rules, all right? The rules are actually exchanged, built by blood and sweat, literally. Okay, not blood and sweat, but by our money.
Bloody.
Yeah, it's paid with cash, actually. Yeah, the losses that we suffered in the market.
Yeah, exactly, right? So guys, so there's no need to be too creative when it comes to investing, right? We have taught you guys how to do it during OMI systematically, what are the rules, when to cut loss, when around to take profit, how do you do TA and things like that, all right? So just follow those, and I really think that it will really help you in your journey, okay? Hey guys, how many of you, all right, after you attended OMI, you implemented it, right, and you have made profits, all right? If you have made some profits, right, guys, can you all type in the comments profits? I just want to see how many of you all have taken action and succeeded, all right, during this period in time. Okay, how many of you all have made profits? Type in the comments profits, because right now, right, the market is very, very kind. It's a very, very strong market. Okay, so if you are not making good profits in this market, something is very, very wrong. Okay,
That means, you know what's happening? That means you are not following our rules. Okay?
exactly, right? Those of you who use our rules, I can assure you, you'll be seeing some nice profits already. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So many of you have seen profits, right? Fantastic. Okay, follow the rules, but yeah. Okay. So I think some of you may not have attended or have heard about OMI before. Okay, so here I'm just going to do a bit of advertisement. Advertisement, because actually we're going to have our next round of OMI very soon this month. All right, for the new batch that's going to come in. Okay, so it's going to be next weekend. Am I right? Yes, it's going to be next weekend. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And and it's a 3-day program, actually 2.5 right? So it's Friday, half a day, and full day on Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so if you want to find out more about OMI, all right, guys, you can actually go to this link right now. Preview to OMI. Okay, can someone just help me type it in the chat? Let me just see. Maybe I can type it there.
Okay.
Let me see. Oops. Give me a second. I'm just gonna copy and paste it so that I can put it there. Okay. So I'm gonna put the link in the comments. So for those of you who have not attended OMI, this will be a great time. Okay, for you. We do it about once a month actually. All right. So if you've never attended OMI, you want to learn how to invest. This is really good for those of you who are starting. So it's good for novice and intermediate investors. Okay. And if you are just starting to invest, you have never started investing, this is for you. And if you have never started on options as well, all right, options is something that we go very deep into OMI. So if it's your first time trying to invest through options and not too sure, you want the basic steps, the 101, come to Option Millionaire Intensive, all right, OMI 2.5 day, and we'll share with you as much as possible. And you can see so many students are here today. I'm so happy to see all of you, and I'm so glad that many of you have made good profits in the market. Okay, well, talk about money. I saliva drip. Okay. Okay. So that's all we wanted to share this evening. I hope it was useful for you guys. In the following weeks going forward, actually we will just take turns. One of us will be here to answer some of your questions, so that if you guys have any more questions, continue to send to the Google form that was emailed to you guys. Okay. Joe and Sarah, anything else for them?
Yep, and maybe we can do up a post to so that they can actually write down their short-term focus. What is that?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
man, yes.
Yeah. So guys, if you guys are watching this from our OMI group, later we'll put a post on our OMI page. We'll make a post on our page, and please write down what is your short-term focus. Okay, what is your short-term focus? And but honestly, if your short-term focus is long-term strategy, it's also okay, right? I don't know how many of you all get what I'm trying to say, lah.
Your short-term focus meaning like, okay, I want to, really master strategy.
Yeah. What is your next step? What is your next step
of growth? Yeah, you want to focus on in the very near future.
Like really focus on one thing.
Yeah, one thing, right? So some of y'all say master strategy X, and and I think for some of you who have not attended, the next step is just about registering for the next class, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Take small steps, right? Investing is a marathon, right? It is a multi-year marathon. For Joe and Sarah, it's been 1.5 years. For me, it's close to like almost 12 years and counting, right?
Wow.
And I can tell you the hardest part is getting started. I don't know how many of you agree, but the hardest part is getting started. But once you get started, you have momentum, you're running already, you're reading reports every few days, you're doing investing, then it gets easier and easier. Okay? Yeah. All right. And wow, Michael is giving us live market update. The market is dipping right now. Actually, I have no idea how you know this. You know why? Because the US market is not open yet. Okay, but right. Maybe he has a time stone, and then he fast forward, then to take a look and come back. Okay. Anyways. Okay, so that's all we have for you guys. I hope you all learned a lot. All right, do watch for our post later on and tell us what's your next step that you want to take on your investing journey. Okay, if not, that's all we have, and we'll see y'all next Wednesday for the next Q&A for OMI.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.